What's up? What's Puffington? You know me, I like to make videos in the garden while the sun hits my face. So here we go. First of all, I miss you like I miss the rage. Okay, so like Hayley Williams dropped her album, which it was like dropping singles. Like I don't know how many singles. I feel like 18 singles, and then she decided to make it an album around September, or it was around October, I'm not sure. I heard the album like 1 week ago. And she added a new song, Good Old Days. Okay, and every Paramore fan is going crazy because it's like, what is going on with her and Taylor? And I don't know, I thought that I had to mention it because I'm a Paramore fan and I love Hayley, and I recently found out that she is indeed a Capricorn stellium in the 8th house. You know what I'm saying? I understand the pressure. I understand that shit. Because I am a Capricorn rising with Capricorn Mars. And I have 8th house placements and 12th house placements. And, you know, the combination is crazy. I know what it's like to be an 8th houser. I also know what it's like having Capricorn energy. So, you know, she's a soldier. And I just love her. And, you know, we're also having like 6 planets in water right now, and I've excused the North Node and in the midheaven, which they're also in water signs. It's like a lot of water energy, and she dropped that song, and I sneak peek through a lot of posts on TikTok. I'm posting on TikTok lately also. I'm about to drop my Instagram, TikTok, and everything in the box description, or generally, you know, so you can find me if you want to. And today I got to hear the song and I was like, damn, shit. Yeah, shit. First of all, I gotta say, I was really sad listening to her album that her and Taylor didn't work that shit out, because, you know, I really thought that it would be the end game, and maybe they are. I'm not sure, you know. But it seems like he's the avoidant type, maybe emotional, unavailable. I'm not sure. I don't know. I look at the Taylor chart. He is also like Capricorn stellium, and I can see like why there's magnetism there, right? Because they get each other. They have so much Capricorn energy, both Capricorn stelliums. And she has Gemini rising, he's Sagittarius sun. Like, we have this attraction there. I don't remember. No, I feel like he has his moon in Capricorn. I'm not sure. Anyways, but really freaking fucking nostalgic. Like, help me. Help me, you know. And I'm listening to this album and I don't know. I'm feeling sad for Hayley, and I really do pray she gets to have fun, because like, it's too much having a fucking Capricorn stellium in the 8th house. Like, being Capricorn stellium wasn't enough. She had to also have that in her 8th house. Anyway, I really wish her the best. But yeah, she's popping up a lot. Like, she gains fans, and I'm really happy for her. But yeah, like, I miss you like I miss the rage. Let's get it on. You can call me Miss Paramore. Stop. I cannot. Yeah, and by mentioning all that and the nostalgia that this song brings, because it's like, who knew the hard days will be the good old days, you know? And that is like, she basically, you know, like, pointed out that the whole After Laughter era, their 4th album or the 3rd, I feel the 4th album, right? Or the 5th, I'm not sure, I don't remember. But basically the album which Hayley was like wrote a post divorce or anything, and you know, and she was like, who knew the hard days will be the good old days? Like, who knew like the hard days what we were going through, you know, and the hard days that their lead single from the album After Laughter would be the good old time. Like who knew like my biggest misery would be like such a great and fun time, because it was like, yes, I was going through my own misery and through what I've been through, excuse me, in my marriage, and you know what I had to do in order to get divorced. And then it was like, but I was, you know, had a great fun time because I reunited with Paramore. We did this beautiful album, and you know, her relationship with Taylor started changing, right? And it's crazy because, like, you know, yesterday I was really thinking about this whole thing, the fact that, you know, one of the hardest times in my life were my most beautiful good old days, right? We think that the good old days are just, you know, when we have fun, when we are, you know, like always so happy and so joyful, but it's not true. Sometimes the good old days, when you reminisce about the good old days, sometimes it is when you are going through some hardships, but there are just some things that are just so vibrant in this moment. They're just so important, right? Like, I remember I was going through some really wild shit back in 2022, and I remember we were organizing this K-pop party, and even though I don't speak with none of the people that I used to hang out around 2022, I still cherish that moment so beautifully in my heart, because I had such a great time. Because, you know, it happened magically. I was speaking with a friend at a coffee shop, and I was basically telling her, like, you know, I have this beautiful vacation home. I would really like to have like a crazy party there, and I would really like to have like a K-pop party there, right? Before I just get over that stage, because, you know, everything is a stage in our lives. I'm not saying that, you know, K-pop was just a phase, but everything, it is a phase, you know. Again, not to dismiss it or to minimize it or whatever, because like I hear K-pop from 2019. Since I was 19 and now I'm becoming 26, that's a lot of years, right? That's 5 years at least, and no, it's 6 years. But yeah, and I told her, like, you know, I would like to do that, and then, you know, like we were really talking passionately about it, and then she told me she had this friend, and like from friend to friend, from this to this, like we came up to the whole thing, and we made the party. And it wasn't with the friend that I started the conversation with. It was with other people, strangers, that I got to, you know, create friendships, right? And organize this party. And it was really magical and crazy. And even though I had my own shit, there was a lot of shit happening. You know, I remember like the struggle. You know, there's beauty in the struggle, as J. Cole says. Ugliness in the success. This was true, you know. There was beauty in the struggle of trying to make the party, you know, because we had like the Sunday meetups. And it was really cool, you know, learning new people. And then I also got to learn a lot of music from them, because most of them were BTS bias, right? And I was like multi-fandom, and I got to dive more into BTS's discography, and I truly loved it, right? But yeah, and it was also around that time that I was doing my practice in the studio and in the radio, like, and even though life was shitty for me, I was going through some wild shit. It was also so beautiful, because when I look back at it, it's like, whoa, you know, there were some really beautiful moments around, you know, around this time, you know, some moments which I thought that, you know, like, I need to get to the next level and the next level, but no, you know, these were the good old days, you know, the good old times that I got to hang around with people and speak about common things, and get to party and get to do a lot of stuff, right? And even though I was going through also health issues with my back then, like, a lot of, you know, when I remember and when I go back, it's like it had its beauty, right? It had its beauty. Like, I was going through some pain, but it had its beauty, you know. I had this friends, and I had this group, and I had this music, because like music plays a big role. Like, I remember I just And see, the crazy thing is, like, I revisited a lot of fanfics I used to write that I never got to truly finish, right? And I have like this crazy nostalgia and melancholy lately, now that I know, and even if I if I didn't know, it's crazy how astrology works, but it works. And it's like 6 planets and water signs. I feel nostalgic as fuck. And then Hayley Williams decides to drop that song, as if the whole fucking album wasn't enough, right? And then I reminisce about all of these things, and this little letter that I wrote came to as I was seeing the fanfics that I sent from one email to the other email, and I was like, Jesus Christ, those were the fucking good old days, you know, when the music was my friend, when I was writing crazy fanfics and I was a fangirl and I was delusional, right? And that's what I was saying to my sister, like, we may not realize really back then, but now, which I kind of realize, like, I know, right? But like seeing it from now, from the perspective of like 2 years after, 3 years after, 5 years after, right? It's like music and our delusion saved us, made us survive. And I know a lot of people say, you know, surviving is not living. I know, but sometimes you have to survive in order to live. Think about that, right? Like, in order for you to live, you have to fucking survive a lot of moments in time. And it's like, if we didn't have the music and our fun girl delusions, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't fucking be here, bro. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And you may say, but why do you miss those old days? I don't know, there's something nostalgic about the struggle. I know. The struggle, the pain, why is that, you know? But there is something beautiful to love about pain. Sorry. And the truth is, even when you are depressed, there are good moments. There are moments worth feeling and living, because it's like what the other person said, like, even when you're depressed, like, there are moments in time which you feel really happy and joy, and that's true, right? And sometimes going through depression can get a lot of the pain a little bit. That's the point to be addicted to pain, because that was me for years, right? And also the point to sabotage yourself and to keep yourself in this pattern of pain and depression. But you know, sometimes it's really about enjoying where you are. Yeah. And I said, like, why those moments matter the most? Because at some moments I was really present, you know? I was really present in my delusions and my fangirling. I was really present in the meetings and organizing this one thing, in the struggle to get to a point. And maybe that's because I'm a Capricorn rising. Like, I like the struggle sometimes. I like the challenge. I like a good challenge. I have my Mars in the first house also, right? Capricorn. I love a good challenge. I love a good fucking challenge. Even though when the challenge comes, like, again. But then it's like, but I love a good challenge, right? Because, like, oh, you know, I'm gonna finish that shit. Because in a way, you're gonna finish me. I'm gonna finish you. You know, that's the Mars in the first house. Is like, in a way, you're ever going to fucking stab me. You know, I may lose the fucking battle, but I won't lose the fucking war. But anyway, yeah. And I caught myself reminiscing about the good old days and about, you know, like, about this one friend that got me into K-pop. The one friend that got me into K-pop. And as I was listening to Stray Kids, especially the song Baby, because that's what came to my head, right? And I'm like, you know, I may never get back to the relationship, because no, I'll probably never get back. Like, we're never going to be friends ever again. But I honor the fact that that person was in my life. I reminisce about the good old days, about when she brought me to this K-pop, what I learned through this beautiful music genre, which I still listen, right? Just like I really miss, and I really honor and I reminisce about, when everything wasn't as this right now, when everything was somewhere else, right? When we were friends, when we were delusional, when we were fucking like when we were talking about hours and hours about albums and songs and concepts, right? I reminisce about those times. And what I realize, and just like sometimes, because like, being nostalgic and melancholic brings grief. You're like, oh my gosh, I miss this person. And it's like, I don't mean this person wouldn't work out still, even though I miss them right now. But it's just like this feeling that no matter what, you still carry the people with you, even if you have discharged the energy of a lot of things that have happened between you, you still carry people with you, right? What they taught you, a lot of people, what you shared. And that's a beautiful thing, because that's life. That's your life, right? And it happens that this person was there to show you this type of music. It happens that you and this person shared and created those memories together, right? And this person is, it's not here anymore, but it's like you carried this person with you forever. What you shared, and you cherished all those things, even though it pains sometimes, and you're like, why are we not still friends, But it's like, because each one of us had to grow in different areas in our lives. But it's like, but it was good while it lasted, right? It was what Nikki says, like, man, it was good while it lasted. That shit wasn't real, it was magic. If it was a record, it would have been classic. But if you don't, orgasm. Like, that's so true, And I was like, as I was kind of grieving, right, and being nostalgic and melancholic about this whole thing, it's like, but that's life, it's life. That's life. If you do not grieve about the people you had to leave behind, or the people that kind of shaped you, let's just say, or your life and your memories and your experience here, then what are you doing? Because like, this is your life, this is your life. And for you saying, no, I don't miss this person, no, I don't grieve, no, I'm not nostalgic, then you don't live this life. And that's the beauty of this life. Sometimes it is the pain, it is the grief, it is the nostalgia, it is the melancholia, it is realizing that, I'm a human being right now, and I got to be so fragile, and I got to be so sensitive, and I got to be so emotional, and I got to be so ripped apart, that only human being can ever really experience that. Like, this is the experience that no God can ever experience. And that is the reason why gods would have wanted to reincarnate as human beings, because it's not fun being happy all the time. It's not. I know. You may say, but what? Happiness is happiness, right? But that's not true, Because sometimes it's funny being a little bit powerless, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's funny trying to find the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it's funny, and there's joy in the challenge in yourself, and seeing yourself grow, and seeing yourself doing the things that you never thought you would have done. It's crazy seeing yourself feel uncomfortable in the uncomfortable. And it's crazy getting to live even though you have went through a lot of ish, right? It's crazy how we as people can go from chapter to chapter to chapter to chapter, and even though we've been through some wild rides, we'll still keep going, right? It's crazy, but that's life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just be happy. There's joy in pain, there's joy in grief, there's joy in in things that may make you feel sensitive and emotional. There's beauty in that, because it's like, wow, look where I was, look where I am. And it's not just that, it's look what we created. Look, this is my life, and it's a beautiful place to be, even though there are moments which I'm going to grieve, you know. But yeah, the beauty in life, the colors of the palette, like, life wouldn't be the same if we were to be like only black and white, right? It would be monotone. It would be really, I don't know, boring. Now we get to have all these colors, right? And we choose where to put them, right? Like, you don't like one color, change it, mix it up, do something. That's what I wanted to say. My battery is running out, but thank you for listening.